welcome to another episode of Always Up to Date. My name is Yahweh from Always Bookkeeping. I'm with the co-owner of Always Bookkeeping, Denise Mitra. And we're here to talk about how is automated bookkeeping easier. So we always like to start with a quote. It's from Jim Collins, author of 6 books. Thoughtless reliance on technology is a liability. So our statistics for today: Intuit, the makers of QuickBooks, did a survey of small business owners and some basic business financial literacy questions. For example, role of balance sheet, accruals, how to improve your cash flow, etc. So 82% of the respondents scored less than 70% on the test. Yeah, so Denise, why don't you tell us a story of one of our experiences that relates to our topic for today?
Yeah, for sure. So we're talking about how is automated bookkeeping easier. So you meet with your bookkeeper for your scheduled bi-weekly meeting, and you have hundreds of transactions that you've done since your last meeting, and they need to be entered for tomorrow because you have an invoice that a client is waiting for. And so now you have all these transactions that need to be entered. How is it that automated bookkeeping is going to be easier than manual bookkeeping? Yeah.
So first questions you want to ask: do you have to know how your bookkeeping software works? The answer is no.
It's a good idea to have a basic knowledge of how it works, but really your bookkeeper should know that information. And again, there's so many different types of software out there for bookkeeping. You might be more comfortable with one than the other. At Always Bookkeeping, we use QuickBooks Online. So again, you don't have to know how it works. That's why you hire a bookkeeper that knows how it works. They just give you the information when it's ready.
It only matters if you're your own bookkeeper.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, for sure. Then you should know.
Yeah. So what bookkeeping software should I use?
Yeah, sorry. Like I said, we use QuickBooks Online. We find that it's very user-friendly. It's online, so you can use it wherever you are, which I think is really important to small business owners because you don't necessarily have an office. Sometimes you just have to work wherever you can, and so it's really good. But again, there are so many bookkeeping software out there. It's really important to research it and decide, if you're going to do your own bookkeeping. If you have a bookkeeper, then they'll have yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So do I need to provide the software to my bookkeeper?
Yeah, you shouldn't have to. If you've already started working with another bookkeeper and you're changing bookkeepers, or you started doing the bookkeeping yourself and just found that your business got too big and you can't handle it anymore, you want to just get rid of some things off your plate and you decide to hire a bookkeeper to do it, then yeah, you might want to give that bookkeeper what you already have, whether it's like a USB stick that we can do a backup of it, or if you have QuickBooks Online and you can just share it with us, invite us to be a part of it, that would be perfect. But really, your bookkeeper should provide it for you. At Always Bookkeeping, like I said, we use QuickBooks Online, and we include that as part of your monthly charge that we just take care of your QuickBooks Online subscription. Yeah. And
most accountants and bookkeepers, we normally get some sort of a deal with the accounting softwares.
Right.
So I think it's really important that your bookkeeper provides it for you.
Yeah. Good point.
Is there a software available for employee time tracking?
Yeah. Again, there's so many apps out there, software that you can use to track your employees. Most of them the employees can do it on their phone, so it's really convenient. Some people worry about that just because then the employee can log in and out wherever they are. Maybe they've already gone home and they can log in. But they have a lot of software that has controls for that, that they have GPS on it, right?
Yeah.
It will only let you log in or out when you're close to that work site or at that work site, that particular work site.
Yeah.
Again, you have to look and do your research about those programs, but all of those programs do they go into QuickBooks, like they're compatible with QuickBooks. And so once the employee enters the time, it's just a matter of making a few settings on your QuickBooks file, and it'll just pull it right in, and then you don't have to enter that time manually.
Yeah, and most of these applications or softwares actually let you have control on when you want to approve it, or it lets you adjust depending on what you see fit, because then they will give you the opportunity to have the administration role on the file.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that you want to look at, and you also want to look at if you're doing a research that goes or that you want to use for your time tracking. Make sure that the payroll system is in compliance with your provincial statutory laws, because some of especially for example, we are in Alberta, and we recently changed the overtime rules in 2018. So those are the things that you want to look at when you're looking for time tracking softwares, and make sure you make the proper adjustments before you integrate them to your accounting software.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so how do you provide your statements to your bookkeeper?
So of course there's always the good old-fashioned just dropping them off, mailing them. Some of our clients have just put our address on their statement, so they get mailed to us directly, so we know. There's again so many programs out there that you can use. We use HubDocs. You just log in, and your bank just downloads those statements right to HubDocs. We can open them and get the statements. You're not having to remember to send them to us. We're not having to track you down to get that statement, so we can get your bookkeeping done on time. And again, so many programs that do that. You just need to look around and see which one works best for you.
How can you automatically convert paper statements to the bookkeeping software?
Yeah, so you can take your PDF, so you save your statement as a PDF, convert it to a CSV file, and then QuickBooks Online, I know, has a function where you can just upload that CVS file, and in it comes, you've got your bank feed, so then you, again, you don't have to manually enter each transaction as they come in. Yeah,
so some of your banks already have the function for you to download the transactions as a CSV file, and it could be uploaded to your QuickBooks file or any software you use. But some of us still receives paper statements, and that's not a problem. Most of the companies that I've been seeing have been moving from paper statements to online statements. They actually encourage you to use their online banking just so they can get away from using paper, right? So things like that. If you still can't get away from receiving paper statements, then there's always the option of converting it to an Excel and save it as a CSV file and upload it away.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you still need to keep your receipts if you are automated?
Yeah. So again, like we said in a previous video, CRA requires you to keep your receipts for 7 years. So we recommend you do that. However, the CRA doesn't have to see original receipts. A copy of it is fine. So if you have your receipts automated and you have them stored somewhere on your computer, that's fine. You don't have to keep the original as well as the copy that you have.
And some of the receipts, they're printed on paper that may wash out the ink, so some of the receipts may not be legible anymore. So it's always nice to keep a digital copy of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you review your reports with your bookkeeper online?
Yeah, absolutely. At Always Bookkeeping, we use a program called TeamViewer. We pay for the subscription, and so it's free for our clients to use it because they don't use it on a regular basis. They just use it as a one-time sort of thing. So great way to review your reports with your bookkeeper so you can both see what you're looking at. Again, I'm sure that there's more programs than you can count that you can share your computer screen with, so that you can view those reports with your bookkeeper. And again, keeping that in line with your bi-weekly meeting with your bookkeeper, just going over those statements, a great way to look at them.
Or even having the online access to your QuickBooks file or your accounting software gives you a better tool on when you're reviewing these reports with your bookkeeper. Right? How much time can you save by being automated?
So I don't think we can give you like an exact amount of time that you can save, but definitely you save so much time being automated. If you're the client that has so many transactions and you show up to your bookkeeper, you call them and say these have to be in for tomorrow, it might take them a few hours to do it manually. Automated, within minutes they get the information. All they need to do is kind of play around with it a little bit to make sure that it's been posted to the right account, make sure that everything has been uploaded properly. So much less time.
And if it's automated, like we said, there's some softwares up there that would automatically download bank statements. So that's not a bunch of time, but let's if you're trying to download statements all the time for your bookkeeper, that's another time that you can spend somewhere else.
That's right.
Right? So
exactly.
So it's just one of those things, and I think the more transactions that you have to enter, the more time you can save. And it's very important, especially if you're paying your bookkeeper an hourly rate, then you can save them time and your money to have automated system, right?
Exactly.
Are my documents safe if they are automated?
Good question. Lots of people ask if they're safe, and the technology on our bookkeeping programs, the software, it's so advanced, and there's so many sets that, like, for example, if you want to share your bookkeeping software with an employee that needs to help you do the bookkeeping or whatever, but you don't want them to see everything, there's sets on there that you can set it so that they can only see a certain portion of the book. The bookkeeping software. They can only, they can't make any changes without you knowing about it. They can't invite anybody else to be a part of that. Having documents online, on the cloud, whatever it is, probably just as safe as having them in your house or your business. There's that security. People talk about the security on the internet and stuff like that. I don't think it's any worse than your home security, like sitting at your home or your business.
And again, these softwares that we talked about, they're all built into protecting your confidentiality and your information into their system. So they do their due diligence to make sure that your information are protected, right? So I think that's another thing to look at it too. I think that's all our questions for today. If you have any questions, feel free to comment and click like and subscribe to our videos, and then we'll see you next time on our next episode.